Yes, Madam Mayor, Sam DEHNE would like to speak.
Sam DEHNE, the Wikipedia of Reno government. Some young lady came up to me out in the lobby and said that she thinks I'm an Air Force Academy graduate. I spent many years flying fighters and bombers, and we're having another public comment here. So I have to act as if I'm starting from square one, and as if the people up in YouTube had not seen my previous public testimony to analyze whether or not I was, as the lady outside said, I was being a little bit too subtle. A little bit too subtle. And I said, well, thank you, I'll try harder. At any rate, I come up here and I say that I'm the driving force for Sam DEHNE, that's me, is a driving force as an Air Force Academy graduate, 26-year fighter bomber pilot from the Air Force who has spent the last 20 years consecutively, philanthropically, trying to protect the citizens from harm. She didn't like me to say protecting the citizens from the bureaucrats. Okay, protecting the citizens from harm, trying to make things better for the citizens. And that is my only goal, is to make things better for the citizens of Reno. I don't know why I do it. Maybe it was ingrained in me when I was at the Air Force Academy, but I do everything philanthropically. I've been the driving force for 87% of the important things that have taken place in this community. Everything from saving the Air National Guard when it would be out of existence right now, basically, if they had gotten those fighter planes they wanted a long time ago. And I talked Washington, D.C. into bringing them the C-130s. And I was the only one, so I was the driving force. I was the only one. The Air Guard wanted the fighter planes, the airport wanted, and even City Hall wanted to bring these fancy fighter planes into Reno. Instead, they got the cargo planes, the C-130s that I told them to get. And I have a flying background, so I know a little bit about that sort of thing. I'm the driving force for that. I was the driving force for Burning Man. I was the only one who came to the podiums when Washoe County was trying to shut it down. I was the driving force, and more recently, I was the only person, the driving force for saving Reno from the loss of this wonderful bowling operation, because as I came to the podium and all the casino moguls were sitting there asking me, Sam, please go up and say something. They didn't come up and say something, but that's their own business. But I came up here and said, give those folks what they want, which basically was a subsidization for the bowlers. And because Sam said, do it, you guys said, oh no. I know you were ready to rubber stamp it, but as soon as Sam said do it, and they said, oh no, Sam's going to take credit for this too. So you waited, postponed it to the next week, had some kind of a meeting nobody ever told me about, and you rubber stamped it right then. Anyway, so I was the driving force for that, by the way. And I was definitely, you can ask Colonel Kaz out there, I was a mystical, magical driving force that is bringing the beloved Tesla to Reno. The only person who come to the podium and say, we want Tesla to come here, and 2 weeks later they came. By the way, I was not the driving force for the generator project, which I do think is a great operation.